What's up, guys? Knicks Daily here back. Today we're going to be talking about the team trading for D'Angelo Russell and Donovan Mitchell. Now, I understand that I've made these videos, don't get me wrong. I'm just covering the latest news. I think D'Lo would be great in New York. I think Donovan Mitchell could have a future with us, of course, next to RJ Barrett and Julius Randle. But we're going to get into some new packages. We're going to get into some new ideas. So if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and drop a like, man. I'm trying to chase my dreams. Without you guys, it wouldn't be possible. So let's get into the video. So starting off with D'Angelo Russell, if he was traded to the Knicks, it would be great for us because we don't have to give up too much. He really did struggle in the playoffs, and obviously he hasn't been the same player that he was in Brooklyn. But this is a guard that plays a lot of pick and roll. He took eight threes a game last season. He'd be great next to RJ Barrett because we know that RJ Barrett is good downhill. He's a very good passer, especially since a rookie. I mean, originally when he was a rookie, he was in the, what was it? I think it was the 70th percentile at the top of my head, and now he's in the 81st. So he continues to become a better playmaker. Also, RJ has to do so much on defense to where we don't want him to just be running the offense. Like if he's setting guys up, setting himself up, and then you've got D'Lo, who of course isn't afraid to shoot. So I think D'Lo and RJ would be really good. D'Lo could be our future point guard. We're not gonna have to pay Jalen Brunson $25 million a year. Well, actually, yeah, we're not gonna. D'Lo's not gonna. I don't think D'Lo will end up requiring more than Brunson. But I think D'Lo honestly is better than Brunson in the playoffs. Like, don't let the playoffs fool you. I mean, of course, Brunson's a good player, but once D'Lo comes to the Knicks and he's next to a system that's better for him, obviously assuming Coach Tibbs gone, because I just think D'Lo with his, if he can get back to the deal that he was, because we know D'Lo's an all, like D'Lo has been an all-star in the NBA. Whether or not you think it's not going to happen again, I mean, that isn't the point. I mean, D'Lo has been an all-star. He obviously is, 26 at the top of my head. He's not the best defender. He's not the best playmaker, but the Knicks have playmakers, and they've got defenders around him. I will say, I mean, playmaking isn't the Knicks' strong suit, but I mean, with RJ taking on a bigger role in the playmaking, of course, I think he'll be fine, man. I just think D'Lo with how he's going to cost would be good for us. Now, I'm not saying D'Lo is number one on my priority list. I just think D'Lo would be good here. I think I'd rather have Tyus Jones. Obviously, I'd rather draft the point guard than I would bring in D'Lo, but just for the sake of it, I will say that I would entertain trading for D'Lo, preferably swapping, obviously, Julius Randle for him. This trade that I'm going to give you guys just came out yesterday, and it's Alec Burks, a 2023 first, and Evan Fournier for D'Angelo Russell. Remember, D'Lo's expiring, so if we end up giving up a first and it doesn't work out, that is not good. We don't want to be trading picks, even though it's Dallas's. The Knicks really need to continue to rack up these picks and develop the guys. So I would personally swap out the trade that I just told you and then do Randle straight up for D'Lo. I don't know if the Wolves would do this. I don't know if the Knicks would do this, but if D'Lo doesn't work out, hey, he can go in free agency or we can trade him. Probably he'd just walk in free agency and then we've got a bunch of money opening up. So I would not mind that at all. I mean, of course, we want to get at least something for Julius Randle. I don't think we're going to be able to trade Julius Randle right now and really get anything of value. But D'Angelo Russell, at worst case scenario, we basically just lost the contract of Randle. So I 100% would do that. I don't expect too many Knicks fans to agree with me on that, but I know there's some because I made a D'Lo video and a lot of people liked it. But that's the trade. And I do want to, let's just get a little bit more into it. I'll go into my notes. So RJ, he's not going to be the point guard. Like D'Lo is going to be the point guard, but RJ's ability to just play make on the wing and create offense for others and himself would be really good. And like I said, RJ has a huge load on both sides of the ball, mostly defense. Like is RJ our best defender? I think RJ is probably our most complete defender. I mean, when we don't have RJ, our defense takes a huge hit. So just taking a load off of RJ and bringing in a veteran. I mean, D'Lo's been in the league for a minute now. He's played with a couple teams, obviously. He doesn't have too much playoff. He actually only has, I think his only playoff experience was Minnesota against the Grizzlies. So he literally has like no playoff experience. But like I said, this isn't my number one priority this offseason, but it's certainly something that I'm interested in, bringing in D'Lo. And yeah, I can't see D'Lo being the future point guard of the Knicks. Of course, he would come back to the Knicks, and he was already in Brooklyn, and we saw success. So, like, what if the Knicks brought in Kenny Atkinson actually, and then had D'Lo? Like, you just never know. I mean, what if we end up let's just say hypothetically speaking, we trade Evan Fournier a first and then Alec Burks, and then we bring in Kenny Atkinson. I mean, D'Lo, that's actually pretty cheap. Like, if D'Lo does get back to his all-star ways and just is the future of us, like we didn't really give up too much for him. We got an all-star type of point guard, so and our IQ would still be able to develop too. I just think it would be really good for us. But I am actually going to get into probably why you clicked on this video, and it's Donovan Mitchell. If you guys have been following the channel, you know that I really don't want Donovan Mitchell, and it's just because of the cost. So when I tell you guys the trade, you'll probably understand why I don't want him. And it's Evan Fournier, Emmanuel Quickly, Obi Toppin, the 11th pick, a 2023 first round pick, and a 2024 first round pick. I can say right off the bat that is a complete ripoff. I mean, Donovan Mitchell has not shown up in the playoffs, obviously. He was good in the bubble, but like outside of that, I mean, I guess he was good against like Russ and PG and Melo, and he was pretty good against the Rockets a couple years ago. But like the Utah Jazz have a better roster than the Knicks. They've got a better coach. I mean, Quinn Snyder's amazing. He might end up going to the Lakers. We'll see about that. But they're in the West, but like the East is getting better. Like an East team might win the finals. The Celtics might win the finals. So I mean, there's just no way in hell I'm giving up 3 first round picks, basically 4, because Obi's a former first round pick. I mean, it actually quickly is as well. And then Evan Fournier and the 11th pick. That is just a ridiculous trade. And the only reason I put Donovan Mitchell in this is because I didn't want to talk for like 4 minutes about D'Lo. So I just wanted to throw in the second part of it. Like, I don't really think many Knicks fans want Donovan Mitchell. The only people that want Donovan Mitchell is like Leon and the management. For some reason, they're obsessed with Donovan Mitchell. And is it to win basketball games, or is it just box office? Like, I just don't see how Donovan Mitchell is the answer right now. I'd rather have RJ and Quickly. Like, or not even take RJ out of it. I'd rather have Quickly in these picks, and then Obi. Like, there's just no Evan Fournier. I don't really care too much about. Come off our bench, or we can trade him. It's whatever at the end of the day. But yeah, I didn't even put this in my notes, but it's just even if we get Donovan Mitchell, I don't really think we're going to be able to make a run. I mean, look at our division. The Celtics might win it all. The Brooklyn Nets, as of right now, have KD and Kyrie. We'll see. I mean, Kyrie, that team could blow up, but Toronto's on the rise. I mean, every team in this division made the playoffs. That's got swept, and the Raptors lost in the first round. But every team made the playoffs. It's a East that isn't getting any easier. I mean, you've got Miami Heat, you've got the Sixers if they can keep Harden. Even if they lose Harden, they're still the Sixers, Embiid and Maxey and Tobias Harris. And yeah, we just can't be losing these type of young players. It's a no for me, guys. But yeah, it's your boy Nick Staley signing out. Hopefully you have a great rest of your day. Let me know your thoughts on the video. Do you want to see either D'Angelo Russell or Donovan Mitchell in New York? Make sure, if you haven't already, you subscribe and drop a like. It would help me push this video out to more people, help the algorithm, and have a good rest of your day, guys. Nick Staley, I'm out. Peace.